welcome. I had to call in tonight. Usually you're on when I'm working or something, so I don't even get to listen to you anymore, which is sad. So I always try to catch you because, I know where to do it.
Of course.
I have to say, by the time I met you, I wouldn't have guessed that you were in a show. Because you were just so charismatic, so into what you were doing. It showed. It was just like, yeah, see, this is the guy we need to go to who's knowledgeable and who knows his stuff. He can hold a good conversation. He can engage the guests. This is the guy. I mean, when the whole hoopla of the Emmys was happening,
oh God!
Every time the Divine girls were, I'm like, oh my God, why didn't they just get in the Belle?
There were a lot of other people that could have gotten as well.
Just
you know what I mean?
Belle.
It was just, oh God! Obviously a lot of people talked about that because. We never got to obviously see it because we were too busy doing our own thing on the other side. So I did not even check my phone until after the red carpet was over. So once it was over, I went into the press room. I'm like looking at my phone and I saw I had all of these notifications on Twitter.
All the tweets. Mm-hmm.
All the tweets that were coming in about this red carpet, and they were going like, why weren't you out there doing this? They should have gotten you, or Dan Kroll, or Jamie Gibbons. And I was just going
mm-hmm.
what? I was like, what happened? So then, of course, I'm scrolling just to try to find what happened. And then all these articles came out from TV Line and the Wall Street Journal. Of all things, the Wall Street Journal had a thing about it.
The Wall Street Journal, yeah.
And just basically about the quotes that they said to these people on the red carpet, and I just shuddered because I was just like, why would you say that to these people? Don't know.
Right?
Just stop. Just stop talking.
Well, it would have been one thing if they had at least researched somewhere or knew what they were talking about a little bit.
It was insulting. It was insulting because, one, they got paid for 2 days for doing this and had no research for these people whatsoever. Even if you didn't know who they were on the show, you could have at least researched who was nominated for an Emmy Award. I mean, you could have at least had something like that down, but you didn't have anything.
Right.
And it was so
right.
annoying.
I mean, I just loved how they were talking to Kristen, and Chad standing right there. Chad was nominated, and what are you guys doing? It was crazy.
Awful. It was awful. But I'm so glad that they made the stipulations that was not going to happen again. I'm surprised that the
that's
Emmys.
Good. Yeah.
I'm surprised that Emmys are going to be earlier next year in April.
I know. I was surprised by that. They're going to be in April.
April 26th of 2015. So. I'm surprised we have a date, so I already took off of work, but I was just like, how did we get this far ahead?
How did we get there already? And so what does that mean for the process? Okay, so does that mean that we should be soon hearing about nominations, or because it's earlier, so the whole process has to be earlier, right?
Yeah, right. Ryan, you might know a little bit more about. I haven't had a chance to check that out. Ryan, have you seen?
Yeah, I think the nominations have to be in this month. I saw Christian LeBlanc tweeting something about it, that due to the holiday and the change of the award show, that the entries have to be turned in earlier. I can look up and find the exact date. Hold on.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I thought.
By the way, Ryan. By the way, I wanted to say I'm so glad I finally get to meet you. You're one of my favorite people to follow on Twitter.
Oh, thank you. I'm horrible. I'm a horrible person on Twitter.
You always make me laugh. I either shake my head at you, or I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that.
Thank you.
We had
anyway,
fun.
Sorry, Neville, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, I didn't say anything. I was going to say that we had fun on Twitter. That's all. It's just fun. It's fun things.
I like tweeting you too, of course. And
it's so much fun.
I mean, there's some crazy stuff going on the subs now, and that's a whole other story. I have to really keep track of your schedule again so I can figure out when I can call in.
General Hospital has been off the hook this past week, just so you guys are
aware.
Oh,
my gosh.
I did not get to watch yesterday's
Speaking
episode,
of Chad. speaking of Chad, I mean, he's doing some of the best work I've seen him do in a while.
I know, right?
This week, reacting to the whole Sonny and Carly thing. I was just amazed yesterday.
Oh, man. That was phenomenal work when he basically read. He gave Carly a reading, and I know Carly is my homegirl. I love Carly. I love Carly to death, but she deserved it. She did. It was a long
she
time
deserved
coming.
That. She did.
It was a long time coming, so I was
especially from him. It was definitely a long time coming from Michael to go off on her.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I didn't get to see yesterday's show because it was preempted, so I didn't get to catch up because I had to go to bed early because I had to be at work early. So I have to catch up on 2 shows tomorrow. So it's gonna be weird. But Jamila, I'm gonna place you back on hold. I'll probably bring you on later on because we actually have our first guest that is popping by.
Not a problem. Can't wait to see. Go ahead.
All right. So this guy has been one of my favorites for a few years. You know, I never really got to see him on Another World. I kind of started watching him when he came on Guiding Light as Gus Itoro, and let me tell you, he was an ass. But I loved him because he was an ass. And so I watched him as Gus Itoro on Guiding Light, and then he went over as Jake Martin on All My Children. And you know, he's been keeping himself busy, and I've been a fan of his ever since. I believe we have Mr. Paull Goldin joining us right now. How are you, sir?
Great, man. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
This is amazing technology. I didn't press 1. I just was listening to the show just this minute, and it's cool, man. So thank you, Neville. Thank you for having me on. And congratulations, 7 years. It's amazing.
You. Thank you.
I it's hard to do anything for 7 years in this life, isn't it?
I've come to find that out, pretty much. Yeah, I literally did not expect to be here for 7 years. So the fact that I'm still doing this is a feat in itself. And I appreciate you calling in to say thank you. I mean, like I said, I've been a fan of yours for a long time, and I was so happy that you were able to stop by.
Well, you know, you're an amazing, really, a one-man tour de force, and you have been incredibly supportive. Of course, I'm going to call you and thank you for doing all that you do and all that you have done for, you know, the whole daytime community. And so, of course, and I got to ask you, are you wearing one of your famous hats right now or no?
I'm actually hatless right now. I have no hat on. I have no hat on. No hat. No hat.
You got the perfect head for radio. Look at that.
It's so weird. I don't think I've ever really. I think I've never really done a show with my hat on. There was a couple of times I have, but yeah, no hat on. No hat on. It's okay.
Well, that's okay.
It's all right.
You're giving your head a breather. It's good.
I have to. What have you been up to?
So let me ask. What shows are you liking now? What are you into now?
As far as daytime, primetime, both?
Both. Any show.
Both, huh? Well, obviously, I'm watching all 4 soaps that are on the air since there's 4, and it's kind of easy for me to watch now. So I am watching all 4.
Well, out of those 4, which is the best one?
Out of those 4, oh, see, you're putting me on the spot. All right, I gotta give it to GH though, General Hospital. I gotta give it to you. This past week alone, just basically just catapulted everything. I literally was just like dying at these past several episodes. These have been phenomenal. General Hospital has kind of been on point lately, and I started getting into Marry Me on NBC. I need to check out Mysteries of Laura. The only reason is because of you, sir. You're the main reason why I need to check that show out. I haven't had a chance to check out a lot of new shows yet, but I need to check out that one. I heard a lot of stuff about that show. Positive reviews.
Yeah, well, it's you know what it is. It's well written, doesn't take itself seriously, and I had the best time on this. I had the best time on that set, and Deborah Messing is an absolute sweetheart, what a pro. She knows exactly. She's kind of like an acting savant. Mm-hmm. But the whole thing was amazing. I got to work with a director named McG, which if you look him up, pretty famous director, and it was really cool. He's a big action director, but he's really great with actors, and I had a blast. But that's a good show. What else do you like? So General Hospital's been doing great. How are the daytime shows doing in ratings?
Ryan, help me, because I'm not a ratings guy. You are.
Actually, they're doing really good. I would say, overall, they're Gage had a couple of rough weeks versus last year, but they were still up week to week. Young and the Restless have stabilized after a rough couple of months as well. And The Bold and the Beautiful continues to rise and be popular as ever. And These Are Our Lives. I can't really comment on faves at all.
Mm. And what is doing well mean? Are they doing 2 million viewers, 1 million, 3 million?
Well, I know General Hospital is hovering around, I think, 2.6, 2.8 million. They're hovering around Bold and the Beautiful territory. And The Restless is around 3.5 million, and Days is still the lowest rated, but they haven't fallen under 2 million. So they're doing consistently well. Their publicity sends out ratings releases whenever they have a really good week, and they're trying. I have to give it to our shows and the executives that are running them. They're really doing a good job at trying to keep everything together, keep the shows under budget, and find new ways to engage the audiences. And I think that's beginning to reflect in the ratings.
Mm. And what do you guys like over there in terms of anything online or Netflix?
Orange is the New Black. Orange is the New Black. Love that show on Netflix. Binge watch it. Every time the new season comes out, I'm pretty much, don't bother me, don't call me, don't text me. I'm pretty much watching it all weekend, the whole entire 13-episode season of Orange is the New Black. I binge watched that. House of Cards is a good one. And what about you, Ryan? Do you watch Netflix online stuff?
Well, on Netflix, I love the Kevin Spacey drama, House of Cards.
House of Cards.
The gory, supernatural, Hemlock Grove.
I have not watched that.
It's strange. It's strange, and I'm kind of weird. I'm into weird stuff, but I think you'll like it. The first season was better than the second. I'll give you that. As far as web shows go, I love The Bay, and I've been getting into Youthful Days, which has a lot of familiar soap faces on, and really beginning to enjoy that show a lot.
Mm. Well, I didn't hear anybody mention The Killing, and it's a series on Netflix. It was on I think it was AMC first, but
it was AMC
it's over
first,
now.
yeah.
But you can still catch it, and I have to tell you something. It is a beautiful. I love that show. I just finished it the other night, the fourth season, and it's over now. Middle of fourth season was it. But if you follow this from beginning to end, maybe I really liked it because it's a detective show. But you want to see some really great acting and some really great writing and threading together of stories and weaving your way through these seasons. I have to tell you something. I cried at the end of that, and I cried at the end of when I finished it, and I wanted to see more, but I was satisfied. It's like it's like when you have a great dinner and you really, like Thanksgiving or something. I really loved it. I would highly recommend it, and that's what I wish would have happened more on the daytime shows. You have a great opportunity, to have a national show, from California to New York, across the country, and I think that it would be cool to bring in some writers the type of writers that write theater, or a perfect example of this is The Killing, because and I know it's harder. Look, I know just as well as any other regular on that did a soap. It's very difficult to crank it out every day, but the secret will always be in the writing. And it's funny that we go round and round to, we always want to have what's familiar to us, but if they ever think outside the box, I think it will be the invention of whatever the new type of daytime drama will be. And